Hi, welcome to the Cult TV Sofa. This is a reaction video for the 4th episode of Season 1 of WandaVision. Last time we saw Wanda's pregnancy progressing and her powers seemingly acting up on their own. She went into labour and Vision left to get the doctor. Geraldine then came to visit and helped deliver Wanda's 2 babies, Tommy and Billy. As Vision showed the doctor out of the house, Herb and Agnes seemed to be having a deep and meaningful conversation and behaving very suspiciously outside. Whilst Geraldine and Wanda were talking, Wanda reveals she had a twin brother, and Geraldine appeared to remember this fact and that he was killed by Ultron. When Vision re-entered the house, Geraldine was gone, and Wanda said that she had returned home. We then see Geraldine flying through a barrier around the town of Westview in a red haze that matches Wanda's powers. She's then surrounded by a large number of soldiers, and we see a very large military operation going on outside the town. So let's see what happens in this episode. I'm going to put any relevant trivia that I find over here, and at the end of the reaction I'll be discussing what happened and my thoughts about it. And I'm going to start it in 3, 2, 1. Hopefully we're going to get a few answers this episode.
Lieutenant Trouble.
So that looks like they're returning after the snap.
Excuse me, I'm looking for a patient in room 104. I don't know what to tell you.
God, imagine just doing your day job. The snaps happened, and everyone's trying to cope with it, get over it as best they can. Half the population, loved ones, colleagues, everyone just disappeared, and then all of a sudden they all just reappear again. There would be absolute chaos. Everyone would be trying to contact their loved ones, tell them they're back. I mean, this is realistic of what would happen. This is 5 years later for the people who are reappearing, but I don't know if they know that. They wouldn't. As far as they're concerned, they've just reappeared. I'm assuming they don't know what's happened during that time period where they were gone. They were literally just gone. So yeah, that is going to be panic. It would be... Oh God, blimey. Realistically, it would bring down civilization pretty much, because all of a sudden you have twice the population pretty much reappearing. I mean, food-wise, supplies and everything. Obviously, when half the population disappeared, production would have dipped because they didn't need to produce so much of everything, and then all of a sudden you got to produce twice as much. I mean, yeah, it would just be hell for a while at least.
Where did you go? Well, I've been in her room since you came back from the surgery.
They got no idea.
Tyler, where's my mom? The cancer came back. My mom is Maria Rambo.
So Maria Rambo is Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel's friend from Captain Marvel. So she's the little girl that we saw in the Captain Marvel film, the daughter. Okay. Yeah, okay. Didn't realise that. Yeah. Not going to be working now.
Captain Monica Rambeau.
Director Tyler Hayward.
Acting director.
So she worked for SWORD before this all happened. Yeah.
It's been
Photon.
3 weeks and you're the first to report.
How are the numbers for the astronaut training program?
She seems senior.
The FBI is in a tizzy over a missing persons case up in Jersey. Requested use of one of our imaging drones, and I need a chaperone. There's no easy way to say this, but you're grounded. She implemented guidelines in the event vanished personnel ever returned.
It does kind of make sense. I mean, as far as these people are concerned, they've been gone. Well, as far as she's concerned, 20 minutes. She fell asleep. She woke up. um, and now everything's changed. But if all these people just reappeared after 5 years, you're going to be suspicious. Are they definitely the same people? I'm surprised she's been allowed in as far as she has been. I mean, you'd want to check them out, make sure that they're still up to the standard they were before. Experience and job wise, can they still do everything? So it does make sense that they would be on restricted duties for the interim, at least.
I'm good to go.
Excellent.
Well, I've got a feeling she's going to Westview. So they're already stopped at the edge of Westview. They haven't gone in.
James E. Wu, FBI.
He was in one of the Ant-Man films. Can't remember which. Might have been two. He was the FBI agent who looked after Scott. Was in keeping him under house arrest. So they're bringing all these people from all the different films. So not the A-list characters, but the lower characters, which is cool because it brings them all in, and it sort of maintains that link. So this is 5 years after the original Snap, and 3 weeks. I think the director said that she was the first person to come in after 3 weeks after they'd all returned. So yeah, 5 years and 3 weeks. Wanda disappeared in the Snap. So basically, she's been back for 3 weeks. And I'm assuming she's now directly involved in what's going on while they're in Westview. So whatever happened has taken 3 weeks to happen to her.
Your missing person is in the witness protection program.
Pardon me, Sheriff. Would you mind repeating your claim about Westview to my colleague here?
No such place.
Ah,
So you can't reach anyone inside, and everyone on the outside has some sort of selective amnesia.
why do they know about
This
it?
isn't a missing persons case, Captain Rambo. It's a missing town.
So is that the helicopter that crashed in Wanda's garden?
Wait, way to go.
I know it's obviously set up for the episode, but he would have driven into town. He wouldn't be, at some stage, he wouldn't be stopped outside the whole time. Oh, that's quite cool.
Watch it.
She's obviously going to go in. So as soon as she was sucked in, has she suddenly become part of it all? Oh, that's Darcy from the Thor films. She was Jane's assistant. Yeah, so they really are bringing in all these sort of I'll say lower, I can't think of the right term, but lower characters, B-list characters from the films. Wonder why they didn't bring Jane in. Budget, I'm assuming. Just a thought. So that helicopter that she sent in, if that was the helicopter that Wanda found in her garden, which it's got to be, because that just ties in perfectly, that was in the second episode. But in it's the first episode we saw her having that dinner with Vision's boss and his wife, where they had that weird interaction that looked like they were being interrogated. So that happened before all of this has been. They've moved, the military are there, SWORD are there. So that does make me think there's two separate things going on here. That interrogation is not related to SWORD. That's somebody else has done that. And the times we've seen colour, that's when SWORD were involved. The helicopter, I don't know how yet, but the blood on that woman's hand, and the radio. I bet we're going to see that soon. I bet we're going to see the broadcasts on their screen of the TV show, basically, that Wanda's living. And Then they're going to make that broadcast over the radio, Wanda, who's doing this to you. And then something's going to happen that's going to cut her hand, but it'll have been caused by the outside world, by them. But yeah, there's still things that are happening in there that aren't sword related or controlled or triggered. So something else is going on in there, and someone else is doing something.
Those drones you're sending in, what kind of data are you getting?
I'm afraid that's highly classified.
Nothing.
You can't see anything?
I'm doubting myself now because they've just sent another drone in. It's just that first helicopter drone she sent in was just such a perfect match for that toy helicopter that that Wanda found in the garden. After originally I thought it was like a full size helicopter had gone in and crashed, and Wanda was just seeing it as a small little toy helicopter. So maybe they do send a real helicopter in later, which will fix the problem I just said about, but I don't know.
There are longer wavelengths superimposed over the noise here.
So she's the one who's picked up the broadcast.
I need a TV. An old one. Like, not flat.
Okay, so specifically an old style broadcast. That's weird.
These swords will take you straight into town.
That's the beekeeper guy. Of course there's a hazmat suit. That was episode 3.
Between you, me, and the bedpost, I am not confident about this mission.
I have to admit, surprised he's there still. I mean, he was sent to check on a witness protection person. I mean, this isn't his department or his area or anything. So why would he still be assigned there? You would have thought he'd been recalled and they'd have a specialist department in the FBI. I would assume some kind of sword. Oh God, what do you call it? A group that a sword liaison team who would be able to work with sword on this sort of thing. No, I don't know. I was going to say maybe he's involved because obviously he dealt with Ant-Man, so he's already been exposed to the whole weird thing life. But he was checking on witness protection people, so that doesn't seem to mesh.
I'm not going to tell you.
Is that?
It looks like her.
The first episode.
Voila, sound and picture.
Dinner is served.
Okay, they're about to have the meal. So are they about to do something that influences what's going on?
Or not. That's cool.
Ah. Episode over. So yeah, it doesn't explain what happened in the first episode.
Mr. and Mrs. Hart. Played by
Hexagonal.
Todd and Sharon Davis.
So the boss and his wife are two people from the town of Westview. So I would assume everybody, majority of people we see are from the town of Westview, unless there's somebody in there who's not and is part of all this.
Harold Proctor is Jones.
You got Isabel Matsueda, cast as Beverly.
That's so weird.
What are we looking at here? Is it an alternate reality, time travel, some cockamamie social experiment?
Maybe.
You've seen that radio on Wanda's kitchen counter, right? We'll shoot a signal to that little guy.
So this is going to be it won't be the radio in the kitchen, it'll be the radio in the by the swimming pool.
What does it look like to you?
Like a retro version of a sword drone?
Okay, so it was one of those drones. I assume the first one, which doesn't quite match up unless they're sending more of them in all the time, and we're just meant to assume it's one of the later ones that crashed. That doesn't explain what happened in the first episode. That's really bugging me. This is answering most of the questions so far. I can kind of see now what's been going on, except for that first episode. It doesn't answer that. That dinner doesn't make sense.
Wanda.
Oh, he was the
Wanda,
voice.
Can you read me? Over. Can't you hear me?
I don't think so. Keep trying.
I'm here to help.
Pop quiz, Wanda.
It skipped. We didn't see a skip. His initial broadcast didn't get through. But that conversation that Wanda was having with the other woman, can't remember her name, they were kind of having almost like a real conversation. She was saying to Wanda, "Are you here to hurt us?" Like she was breaking character. And Wanda then seemed to be coming round a bit as well. They were always having like a normal conversation, and like a real world conversation. And it's almost maybe like a concentration dropped a bit, so it weakened perhaps, which is why he could then, on his second attempt, get through with the radio signal. But then we skipped over, it seemed to cut after the glass broke and we saw red blood, real blood. Don't know. I'm assuming when he gets up and Wanda said no and rewound things, he's going to get thrown out. So reality has changed. That's quite clever. It is a natural switch. You see a hazmat suit and then he's seen as a beekeeper. That's good. Then what? Then what?
1950s, 1960s, and now the 70s. Why does it keep switching time periods?
I
It's
can't believe
leading to
Wanda and
something.
Vision are having a baby.
The way you said that, it was kind of like he was getting into the TV show. It was just like he was like, "Oh, they're having a baby," like enjoying the TV program, which is quite clever. That's you kind of meant to get engrossed in the TV program. But yeah, because it is going through the decades, which means it's going to get to now. What happens when it gets to now? It's kind of like a countdown in some ways. Just don't know to what. Oh, this episode's creating more questions than it answers.
Killed by Ultron, wasn't he?
Did she just say the name Ultron?
Yeah, she talked about Ultron after, again, just after Wanda was talking about her brother. She was singing the Sokovian lullaby to the babies. Again, it's like she was distracted. Wanda is holding everything together, and if she's distracted, her hold over everything drops a bit, which is, I think, why Geraldine, Monica, started to remember a bit. That makes sense, especially with the radio we saw earlier. Whenever there's kind of like Wanda's attention drops a bit, she loses hold on what's going on. Well, to be fair, not surprising. If she's controlling everything going on in there, that's going to take a lot of her powers to do that.
Wow, this is different.
Another skip. Look outside, though.
Someone is censoring the broadcast.
But where's Rambo?
Someone. I assumed it was Wanda, but maybe it's not.
Right now, you are trespassing here.
Okay, so that does imply it's her place. She's done it. You're trespassing in her world. But she doesn't seem to realise it. Only intermittently. Again, when her attention drops, she gets her memory back.
She had to rush home.
Ooh.
What?
So that's how he looked when Thanos took the Mind Stone out of his head and then threw him on the floor, dead. We assume. Yeah, his head was all crushed in where the stone was taken out, and his colour was gone. So, is he still dead? And she's just brought him, not brought him back, brought him. I don't know how to put it. She has brought him back, but he's not back. He is dead still, but she's kind of, it's what she imagines he would say, and what she's just trying to bring him back and for him to be there as he was, but he's not. He is still dead. That kind of implies. Is that actually his body? Where is his body? I would have assumed it would be in a sword facility somewhere. Maybe that is actually him, and she's just used him like a puppet. Don't know.
We don't have to stay here. We could go wherever we want.
No, we can't.
So they can't go anywhere else. So that kind of implies if they leave Westview, then maybe Vision reverts back to what he was. It's only in Westview that she's managing to keep him alive. I don't think he is alive, but keep his memory alive. That's perhaps a better way of putting it.
It's all Wanda.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, kind of guessed it was Wanda doing it all. Although it is, I did. But the only thing that's really there's lots of things that confuses me, but one of the main things that still confuses me is the first episode. They've kind of answered a lot of what happened. The helicopter, the radio, it was them. But that first meal with the boss and his wife, they haven't explained that. I don't understand what happened there. And they also haven't explained Herb cutting into the wall. We don't know who Agnes is. They said they'd identified. I'll have to look back to see if she was on the wall, but they were specifically picking out individuals that they'd identified. They didn't mention Agnes, and because she's the kind of the main person who's interacting with them, her omission I think is quite important. Like I said, this answers lots of questions, but it's created a load of new ones as well. So it does look like Wanda, has created this because Vision died. She came back after the snap, the blip. I don't know why Westview. There's got to be a reason, I would think. Don't know what it is. And she's brought Vision back, but he's not back. He is still dead. Maybe she's trying. I don't know. She can't bring him back without the stone, the Mind Stone, because I think it's that kind of gave him his individuality. But it did look like it was his body. So where was his body? I would assume after the battle in Infinity War, there would have been a clean-up, because Vision's body would have been there, all the alien bodies, all the tech that would have been there. Oh, it was Wakanda. So I would assume Vision's body would have been probably put in some sort of cryogenic freezing or some sort of storage facility of some kind. And to say what we saw then, it does look like she's taken his body. She's trying to pretend that he's real, but he's not. Don't know. Still so much to understand. This is only episode 4. Blimey. Let me know what you thought about this one in the comments below. It was quite satisfying to see this one after all the where we've got to so far. This has answered lots of questions. It's nice to now see a bit what's going on. I think that we needed this an episode earlier, but we've got it. So yeah, interesting now to see where we go, because we're kind of caught up now. Yeah, we're up to the first 3 episodes. The 4th episode has brought us up to speed in the real world for those first 3 episodes. So from 5 onwards now, where we'll be seeing the 2 in parallel, I should think. So that's going to be interesting as well. Yeah, let me know what you thought, and I shall see you for the next episode. Be seeing you.